Cool. Hey everybody, thanks for joining me for episode 2. Today we're talking to a good friend of mine, Gert, and we're going to talk to him about his cycling adventure. So last time you guys joined us, we spoke to Chelsea a little bit about her surfing. So next we're moving on to Gert and his cycling journey. So I don't want to yap too much, but we're going to chat to Gert for today. So I just want to ask you, Gert, how did you get into cycling? Like, was it from when you were a kid, and what kind of riding did you do as a kid, and how has your riding progressed since you started?
So I would say as a kid growing up, I was more into skateboarding and surfing a bit, but being from the Northern Cape, it was a bit difficult to
No
become
skate parks.
yeah, no skate parks, no waves. So yeah, I had a BMX, but I wasn't really that much into like riding BMX. I wasn't used to any, like you said, skate parks or even dirt jumps or any form like that. So I think I spend more time just like fixing punctures because where I'm from, there's a lot of thorns, so I didn't end up doing a lot of riding. But I growing up on a farm, we always had a bike, so an old school rally
Yeah.
that's the cycling I knew. And then
A game bike.
yeah, one size fits all bike. So and then coming to Stellenbosch or studying in Stellenbosch, friends of mine got into mountain biking. And they encouraged me to also buy a bike. Initially, I thought, there's no way.
Yeah.
I was like, why would I pedal uphill, exercise, but then the downhill is like you freewheeling, so
Yeah.
there's no exercise benefit.
Were you gymming at the time when you started
yeah,
cycling?
only gymming,
Okay.
yeah. And I couldn't be more wrong. Like going downhill is way more hard work than going uphill. So that's just like the mindset I had. So they got me into cycling. I also was struggling with a shoulder injury back then, so I was a bit scared to fall and all
Okay.
that stuff. And
Did the shoulder bother you when you were going down, or?
actually
feel it a
the shoulder never bothered me when cycling, where I thought it would. Like
Okay.
even when I fell, it was like the shoulder used to like dislocate in the oddest or the weirdest situations. Never really was cycling. So it was also once again like I was scared of something that could have happened, but it never really did. So, but yeah, got my first hardtail 26-inch Merida.
Yeah.
Like we all did, and by
Yeah.
that time 29ers started to come, they started developing 29ers, so I was at that point in time where I had to decide 29 or 26er, so I stuck. My second bike was still a 26er. I was like
Okay. Yeah.
clinging on to the 26er thing, but it was a full-size bike. And then spent a few years on that bike, eventually got a Specialized Epic full-size bike.
I think I met you when you still had the Epic.
Yeah, but that was the second one. So I got
the second
I had
one.
a
Oh, no way.
a bike up Special Epic, a white one,
Yeah.
and then I bought myself a year or two later actually that orange one that you
Okay.
made me.
Yeah. I remember that one well.
But I always enjoyed the more trail riding side of everything. So I always was the guy rocking baggies on an XC bike. And then by the time I met you when we worked together, you remember I was looking at new bikes. I said I'm done with XC riding.
Yeah.
And
I mean, back then the XC bikes were like proper race
I was riding a
position.
World Cup Special Epic with
Yeah.
95 mil travel.
And
Crazy.
you still try your best to try and hit the like actual trails and jumps and berms. And
I couldn't understand why I wasn't able to jump anything, because I firstly couldn't preload a bike because my suspension was basically, the brain was locked out all the time. And also I was riding clips from day one, so I learned all the bad habits.
Yeah, like instead of bunny hopping, pulling up with your feet.
Yeah, and then from there on to where I'm now. When you met me, I said I wanted to get a proper trail bike, but I still wasn't committed to a 150, 160 mil bike. That's why I got the tall boy then.
That's 120.
120, 130 up front, 120 at the back, and you got me into flat pedals.
Yeah. No, I convinced him. It took a while, but eventually you came around.
And the main reason was also I wanted to learn how to jump.
Yeah.
So I knew I had to try flat pedals in order to jump better. And I would say I think I'm fairly confident on jumps now. The only thing that still scares me are like crazy height, like if you go super high.
Yeah.
But I'm getting there. Like I have a dirt jump bike as well, but that's still like I don't know.
Yeah, no, dirt
Doesn't seem
jumping
right.
is scary. I used to dirt jump. If you just take a week off, that next Saturday, you're scared of the same jumps you did the week before.
It's just like the landing and the takeoff looks the same.
Yeah.
Like, how do you even?
And your bike. Now we'll go a little bit more into depth on Gert's current setup, but yeah, just chat to us a little bit about what setup you have now, because that's also been a bit more towards the trail enduro side of things.
Yeah, so I was fortunate enough to get a warranty on my tall boy, and with Santa Cruz you can get any replacement frame. So I asked them and they said it's fine, I can get a Bronson. And I was also keen on the mullet, because I'm a shorter rider. Full 29 I always felt like I was like battling the bike. I used to buzz my bum quite a lot with the rear tire.
Yeah, 29er for me feels like I finally have a bike that's big enough.
Like you actually sit in the bike, not on top of the
Yeah,
bike.
yeah.
But yeah, with them, I initially said I wanted a mullet bike. I wanted 150 mil travel, and sticking with Santa Cruz, I like the VPP platform. So yeah, so it's a 160 up front, 150 rear, Bronson V4.1. It's the previous gen. They have version 5 now, and yeah, basically nothing like too whack on the bike. It's basically I didn't buy it out the box. I just got the frame, so I had to everything I had on top I had to build over the stuff I could. But yeah, everything else is basically as you would buy it from Santa Cruz directly, just like some local component wheels and all that stuff, line.
And then what kind of riding are you doing mostly? Do you still find yourself doing those like longer cross-country rides, or you kind of just constantly just doing gravity riding? And which do you prefer, or do you like enjoy doing a mix of them and still want the fitness from the cross-country side?
Still definitely very much into pedaling wherever I want to be. Still, I would consider myself in the middle ground. I still can do distance, but not quick. So I'm in that area of that, what you call it, space where some people I ride with don't really want to do the distance, the people that do the distance, I'm too slow for them. So I end up doing a lot of distance riding on my own, because I can keep up on the descents, but like climbing and distance, I'm too slow for certain people, but it's also too much for other people. Especially like if you want a proper trail riding, your bike isn't made for, like a proper trail bike isn't made to like.
It's just tough. You just can't keep up. They're just pedaling at the same pace as you, and they just.
And also being on flat pedal, my bike's heavy, DH tires. But I have to say, everyone that gets on the Bronson says how well it pedals. I've done 6-hour rides. The one day that we came here and then couldn't ride, it was closed. I went back to Yonkers because I rode all the way from Stellenbosch. I rode 6 hours a day, 60 kilometers, and I was fine now.
Yeah, no, it's incredible what the bikes are capable of today. I mean, even myself on the Slash, which is 170 up front, 160 at the back, I've done a 44k gravel ride on it, and I never felt like I was being held back by my suspension or the weight of my bike. So the bikes that they have today are just amazing.
I also do ride my bike slightly more firm, my shock slightly higher up in the travel, so 25% sag, because I like that more pedally platform.
Yeah.
Still nice, and for me it's still reactive, squishy enough, but still has a pedaling platform.
And would you say, so is cycling your main sport? Do you have, would you say it's your main sport? I know you do a lot of other things, but would you say cycling is kind of your main sport?
I always tell people when they meet me, I'll say I'm a cyclist or I'm a mountain biker who actually runs as well, but trail running. So now I would say it's 50-50, trail running, cycling. But yeah, with summer approaching, it's hard to like put on your knee pads and your baggies to go out for a cycle.
Yeah, so, and then you have to load the whole car, and then you have to get kitted on, helmet, everything, and you have to pump up your tires. It can be a lot of effort. It's one of the main things I also, then sometimes my techies are there. All I do, put on a pair of techies and go.
And then go, yeah.
So it's tough to not just want to do that.
Exactly. So I can be within 30 minutes of I'm waking, I can like be on the trail running. Yeah. Where I can't, in the week it's difficult to go out for pedal in the morning. But yeah, I would say 50-50. I would say my fitness comes from running, and cycling I do because it's a skill, and it's I don't know, I think it's like adrenaline. It's something different. Time of your legs if you don't want to spend every day on your feet running. Yeah. So yeah, trail running is for fitness, cycling's for fun.
Well, I mean, you kind of touched on it now, but I want to ask the question specifically. What do you think, what is it for you about cycling that kind of just, when you started it or started taking it seriously, like what was it about cycling that just like, that hooked you? Because I mean, I can still remember when I was a kid, And I just watched the videos of these guys in Canada doing these insane things. And I don't know, from that moment on, I just thought it was the coolest thing ever. And it's like all I could think about for a long time. So what is it kind of about you for cycling that like lit that spark that makes you still do it to this day, and just that you enjoy more than most other sports?
So as I said earlier, I enjoyed skateboarding growing up and surfing. I was never into team sports. I love playing football, but I never got the opportunity to play soccer, football anyway. So that was just like, if I could choose a team sport, that would be it. I was mostly into the um, action sports side of stuff.
Yeah,
so,
same.
Yeah. So I think I was also never into fitness growing up. So the older I got, the more I got into that. So cycling blends that adrenaline side of it, but also gives you fitness. That's why rocking baggies from start. Always gravitating towards flat pedals. Also, think with flat pedals for me, a bike is a thing that I wanted to stand there, and I want to know I can get on it anytime I want. I don't have to put on clip
Special shoes or special, yeah, you can
I
just
can just hop on the bike and go
it's
for a
the
ride.
same
on the
for me
block.
as well.
So it's functional still. But I think the primary thing for me is I like being outdoors. So yeah, growing up on a farm in the Northern Cape. So that's for me, being outdoors.
Yeah.
So I can go out, spend 6 hours outside, and some days I can do distance. Some days I can just spend time doing the same section of trail over and over again, getting better at it. Even though, like you just said, if you spend a week or two off the bike, you almost have to relearn to ride the bike. That is one thing that's irritating, but that's part of life. So if you don't practice every day, you can expect to not be on point or sharp all the time.
Yeah. And then, I mean, one thing that's kind of a concern for me is like how, how many injuries there are in the sport. I mean, I've broken collarbones, ribs, wrists, and things like that. What do you think of the longevity of the sport? Like, for how much longer do you think you'd be able to do it? Do you think you'd just change your riding style a bit and still carry on? Or do you think eventually you'll get to a point where you kind of want to stop riding and then maybe focus on things where it's a lot less risky and there's less injuries and things?
It's a daily conversation.
Every jump you kind of have that conversation in your head.
It's a love and hate. Yeah, it's a daily conversation I have to have with myself. If I do a lot of trail running, I sometimes think, why don't you just stop cycling? Because
I mean, I've had that thought too. Like when I'm surfing, I'm like, man, I just fall in the water. It's no big deal.
Yeah.
I can't get injured. There's no massive risk. And then I get back on my bike. I'm like, if I fall here down the side of this mountain going 40 k's an hour, I'm tickets,
Exactly.
And the older you get, the longer it takes to recover and things. That the less appealing that becomes.
I've had my fair share of operations and injuries, as you know, and I spent many months. I think for 5 years, I at least spent every year at least half of it not being able to cycle as a result.
Yeah, and we're not even downhill races or anything. We're just casual.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's even worse. I don't even get any. I don't make money out of it, but I spend a lot of money on it.
Yeah.
But I still, at the end of the day, it's still for me the adrenaline side of it. It's fun. It's being outdoors. I still get a kick out of it, and I think I'll do it till the day I'm literally unable to walk. I will just tone it down a bit. But I also don't know if I would be happy with not hitting the big jumps. So
I don't know what I'm gonna do either. When that day comes where you realize I can't push myself anymore, not because I'm too scared to push myself, but because physically I just can't do it.
But then you see people in their 50s and 60s
still having fun.
You just tone down the intensity, but they still ride. They're capable. The capability is still there.
I mean, you can still have fun going slow. I think finding a little line and just hitting it properly or a little bit different.
I think what the difference will be, let's say you ride a tech trail at our age now, you maybe ride it 3 or 4 times and you can still keep it together. You'll be able to ride it maybe once or twice, and the third time might be your fatigue will be the onset will be quicker. But I think my motto is, if you don't use it, you lose it. So
I agree. I
always try to still what I did last time, trying to progress slightly, but also the stuff that you not scared to do, but let's say the older you get, you think, nah, I shouldn't sprint anymore, I shouldn't run anymore, I shouldn't climb in the tree anymore, I shouldn't jump on this
But
thing
that's what
anymore.
causes you to stop being able to do those things.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I always trying to convince myself still to do the stuff that you're not supposed to do at your age.
Yeah, I think that mindset is actually the thing that kills you after
Exactly,
a
yeah.
while. So yeah, one last question I've got you for here, and this is kind of something I asked Chelsea as well. But what would you? I mean, someone maybe think of let's do the question double. So let's say someone who's more like a lot younger who wants to get into the sport, and then the more difficult answer is what would you recommend for someone who's maybe our age, like in their 30s, who wants to get into the sport, like, or if you maybe had to do it all over again now at this age, like what kind of bike would you get? Where would you go? Yeah.
Easy question, easy answer. For both age groups, flat pedals.
Yeah, start there.
From
Start.
day one, definitely. Dropper post, whatever bike you buy. So if you have flat pedals, put a dropper post on.
Yeah, even a cross
Game
country
changer.
bike.
Yeah, there's no excuse to not have a dropper post on, even if you don't want to do flat, say for example. But you just learn a lot, like better bike handling skills with riding flat pedals. I learned the hard way. I feel like I've wasted the first 8 years of my cycling career with like just going straight to clips.
Yeah.
It's not like I didn't fall less or got injured less, but yeah, I was definitely not enjoying it as much as I do now. And yeah, bikes for somebody younger, I would say maybe not. You don't have to buy the most expensive bike, because that's the say of like the general way of thinking nowadays. Entry level bike, all bikes are basically not equal, but they're all equally capable at the end of the day.
Yeah, I would say just try and get good geometry.
Yeah, good geo. Like when I bought the after Turbo, you also said, we had a conversation. Buy the geometry, because that's the thing you can't change. But
Yeah,
you can
yeah.
upgrade the components.
With time, yeah.
I bought the top end frame, but everything else was budget on the bike, and I upgraded as I went along. So you don't have to buy the best bike. You don't have to buy. I would say trying to buy maybe the most latest version.
Yeah.
Just say due specific, but
And get the latest technologies.
You can't also have a zero slide head angle. There's going to be
Yeah.
limits. So I say 63, 62 nowadays. So yeah, you can't also go like the extremes. Don't fall for trends. Don't
Yeah.
go to the extremes of see what's been fairly consistent over the last few years.
Yeah, that's a good point.
For younger people, and for older people, I would say, like I said, flat pedals, dropper post, tires. So as a kid, you have more. You're more. Your reactions are quicker. So older you get, I would say, grippy tires.
Yeah, find a pair that works for you, that you trust.
I buy the gnarliest tire I can. I don't care about the weight. And then also, yeah, I would say don't be confident in line choices. Like confidence for younger people isn't a problem. The older you get, you become more cautious.
Kids just go.
Yeah, speed is your friend. Also, ride with friends who are better than you. Always, I would say that.
And try to keep up.
Yeah. I learned a lot from you, and riding with people that a lot.
I mean, vice versa. People just have different styles, and you can pick up on different lines.
Like you ride a line, or you see someone else ride a different line. You think, wow, I haven't thought of that line.
Yeah. Because I mean, you ride it the same every single time because that's what feels good to you, and then someone else does something different, and it's like, wow, that looks like so much fun. Let me give that a go.
Cycling mountain biking is definitely a creative sport.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, if you can go quick, you can be a racer, but you can also be a stylish rider, even if no one sees you, just for your own sake. You can play around, you can be creative with your lines. And I would say the more
building up confidence.
The more confidence you get,
I think that's the most difficult part for people, is building up confidence, especially if you're older.
And also, just coming back to with a bike, also choosing a bike if you're older, I would say definitely something with more travel.
I would rather go more slack than more cross
travel,
country.
more slack. Just because, like I said, now if you're older, your reaction times might be a bit slower, or you now only started getting into. I got into cycling when I was also mid-20s, so it was also fairly late. That's why I feel certain skill levels I will never have, because I didn't grow up on a bike. So some people like the bike's part of them. It's like I can't believe how connected they are to the bike. So because more travel, better tire grip, Yeah, you can actually have so much confidence. You can overshoot stuff. You can
Land in the flats.
You can almost wipe out. This bike has saved my life so many times, just because like I still suck most days.
And the bikes are just super forgiving.
Yeah, almost like OTBing, and then by some miracle, like the bike just like absorbs it.
It just like stabilizes and you go straight again. Your feet aren't on the pedals or anything.
Exactly.
But
if I was on my exit bike, I would have literally been cut in half.
And then last one, how do you build up that confidence? Because I mean, for us riding together, I've been doing downhill for like a lot longer, and as a kid I would do it as well. So but I've seen you, like, you've had to like build up your confidence because you didn't do all those things as a kid. And you know, like, what was your approach there? Because I know sometimes you would like choose a jump and you would then hit it eventually at the end of the week, and then you would gain the confidence to hit it again, and then it wasn't even a challenge anymore. Like, what would you recommend for that process to build up the confidence to hit those jumps you want to hit and set goals for yourself?
It's a difficult one. Yeah, I've had a lot of talk with myself many days on my own, like to get to that point of
cycling is more of a mental game than people realize.
I woke up many days and then I realized I really have to now. That thing I've been avoiding, I need to attempt it today at least. And I've actually, most of this like progression I actually did was on my own terms or timeline, so it took flipping long. So only later when I got to I got the skill or confidence level to attempt certain features, I could actually progress, like riding with you and other oaks on bigger, gnarlier stuff. So initially small stuff was a challenge for me, but I would also go with you, see you do it, and then go back on my own.
Following someone else helps so much.
It helps a lot, but also then in certain stuff I felt that I have to go back on my own time. So riding with people, it can put you on pressure, and you'll feel pressure to do it now, which is sometimes good and sometimes not.
But always ride within your abilities.
Exactly. So on the day, I made this mistake once in my life where I committed before getting to the feature, and then I got hurt really badly. Broke my collarbone because when I got to the feature, I said to myself, you're not bailing, no, you're committing, and I wasn't feeling it. I should have just bailed. Now my rule is you don't commit on top of the hill for something that's still ahead. By the time you get there, you make the decision, okay, I feel fine, or I don't, and then you go. So but also riding with people gives you confidence, but I've found that sometimes I ride with somebody and I don't feel like it on the day, I go back. And then lastly, the other good point I want to make is if you hit something for the first time, you have to go hit it the second and the third time.
Get it out of because otherwise like I said, next week then you're scared from the start again.
The first time again. I would like just to say I don't know, I can't get to the word now, but faster lay. So you hit it, and then I feel I need to go do it at least one more time, and if I'm up for a third time, and if it's an easy trail to walk back, I'll maybe do the fourth time. But then I feel like
it's done now. Like next time I won't even think about it.
Exactly. Next time I go down, I don't even think about it.
I'll just hit it.
It's difficult, so it's different for everyone.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. Like, don't commit beforehand, because we've spoken about this too as well, where that's the tough thing about mountain biking sometimes is like, if I'm not really feeling it or my head's somewhere else, like I can still go surf, I can still go run, but if you're not feeling it and your head isn't in the right space and you have to go down a mountain, like some days you just can't go, you just can't cycle because you're just too in your head, you just don't feel it that day. And it's just too dangerous. Do you we've spoken about it, but so how do you feel about those days?
Actually, good point. When you just mentioned it, I realized how often that has happened to me. On the day, just like some days you feel. I always say, I have one good day, one bad day, one good day. So if I had a good day yesterday, I know today's gonna be a bad day, but it's also mental. So, but
you can't shake out of it.
But certain days, I do feel this is the first time I've ever ridden a bike.
Yeah, and I'm like, I'm gonna die here today. Like, it's happened to me multiple times. With you as well, where I just can't even ride berms properly.
Yeah, dude.
I just fall on the berm. You just turning.
Wipe out on the berm, or literally, I'm so clumsy some days. I would literally clip everything, clip my handlebar, clip my pedal. Like the stupidest thing would happen because I'm maybe slightly fatigued. I do find when I usually in the morning, some days I'm a bit more sharp. In the afternoons, I might be a bit more prone to being more fatigued. But I would say, yeah, on those days, like always, like we just said, on the day you decide how you feel. Don't get pressured to do stuff you don't want to.
Yeah, because then you're gonna fall and you're just
You
not gonna want to
even
do it
pressuring
again.
yourself. Like I
Yeah,
pressured myself. Like you commit to something already ahead, and you don't know the conditions by the time you get there, or how you feel, or if you're fatigued. So always on the spot, like how you
play it
feel.
safe.
Play it safe. Always, when in doubt, literally job. You can always come back
You can always
tomorrow.
come back.
Or my motto nowadays is live to ride another day.
Yeah, yeah,
So I would rather come back and cycle something than trying to prove something to somebody who like nobody.
yeah.
And then, like I said, I've been out at least in the last 5 years for half of the time I've been out.
And then when you come back
Yeah.
after 6 months of healing a broken bone, then you're
Confidence is
completely out of it.
out of it. And luckily you never start. I always think you start from the bottom, but you never really do. You start from where you. But also, it's like I used to do horse riding. What I just said earlier, if you hit a jump, you immediately have to. If I feel.
No, I
do it
agree.
again.
Yeah.
So also with horse riding for me was, if you fall off that horse, you're so scared to get back on it. But the mottos of, like people say, the sooner you
Get back on the horse. Yeah.
the better. I would fall off my horse and immediately get back on the horse and act as nothing has happened.
Yeah.
Every time I fell off, I would get up immediately. So I feel it's like on a bike, the sooner you get your confidence back, the better, because you feel more confident then, and also avoid injury. But you're also within limits again. But yeah, you never really start from ground zero again. You always
On the first day back, it feels like that, but it comes back.
Like so
but it comes back very
quick
quickly.
and fast, and the reaction times are way out of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, everyone's different.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, cool. Thanks, Gert, for the interview portion. Now we're just gonna jump around quickly and take a look at your bike properly, and you can run us through your bike setup, any noteworthy things on the bike or the setup that you enjoy specifically, and then we'll take a look at that. All right, cool. Let's jump over to that portion. So yeah, just run us through a little bit about your setup, and if you had any kind of a philosophy while you were building the bike, and then we'll chat a little bit about just your suspension setup. I know those Fox shocks have a lot of settings and they're difficult to dial in, and if you can just chat to us about how long that took or how that process looked like for you. And then aesthetically, I know you've got some silver bits on here, like what was your go-to for how you wanted the bike to look and things like that.
Okay, yeah, so just starting off with the frame itself, it's a Bronson Santa Cruz V4.1. So basically the 4.1 is just the addition of the glove box. So yeah, I got the frame as a warranty. So everything else basically I built over from the Bronson, except for the wheels and the shock. The fork I already had on the, did I say Bronson? I built it from the Tall Boy. In any case, sorry for that. But so it's let's go to the suspension. It's a Fox 36 up front, 160mm travel, Fox Float X2 at the back, 150mm travel. Yeah, the fork is pretty basic. The shock is pretty non-basic.
Top of the range.
Yeah, that thing is still difficult to figure out. Then let's go wheels. It's a mullet wheel set. It's a line components wheel set. So yeah, line hoops and line hubs. I think it's the hyper hubs. I think it's the latest one. So very like the high engagement rear free up. Love it, very nice. I've had some really good support from Line over the years, so glad to be riding these. So the only difference between a standard wheel set and this wheel set is that I just bought the hoops and the hubs, and I had Helsen Bike Shop, Jordan from Helsen Bike Shop, built this wheel set up for me with thicker gauge spokes. Because it's an alloy wheel set, I just prefer some thicker gauge spokes to keep it, I used to break a lot of spokes. So yeah, I just wanted to avoid that. Then let's go drive chain, GX Eagle. It's I think this is forgive me if I didn't get the specs correct, but it's I think a 1050. It's the smaller cassette. You get a bigger, I think 1152 or something like that. I can't remember exactly the spec, but it's the smaller cassette, smaller range. And yeah, C6 chainring up front. It's a 32 if I remember correctly. Also love the chainring, but love the silver. Also, why if you ask me now about the silver bits, especially with the Bergtech silver pedals, I just like the way they wear. So they don't wear off any coating because that's the raw color. So yeah, the chainring, it doesn't wear off, and the pedals doesn't wear off. So I just like the way it looks. I think with the white, it also disappears, so it's quite nice. Yeah, just still going with the drivetrain. So GX shifter, and then also GX crank. So 165 millimeter length. I prefer the shorter cranks, just like for me, it just keeps my feet a bit closer, which I like the feeling. I would probably try the 155s if I could, just to see how that feels. But yeah, then I'll be like, I have to pedal a lot more. Then going to my seat, it's an ergon seat. Love the seat. It's an enduro saddle, nice and narrow, so it's out of the way when you drop it. It doesn't interfere with your legs, which I love. Yeah, I dig the bit of oil slick. Also went with the oil slicky on the one up tool, which is I like how it picks up. And then the one up component dropper, 210 millimeters. It's the longest one that can fit my frame for my saddle height. I just want the most amount of drop I could get, so I love it. And then I have a Fox transfer trigger there. It's from the Fox transfer post I had on here before the one up. It was I think a 175 travel. So yeah, I just kept the trigger, just bought the dropper post. And then yeah, going over to my cockpit, Bergtech stem and handlebar. It's the Ride High Josh Bryceland 38 millimeter rise Bergtech bar, 35 millimeter the clamp diameter. Also then with a 35 millimeter clamp diameter Bergtech stem, 42.5 millimeter length. So I had a 50 on here, but yeah, I prefer the slightly shorter length. Also the 35 mils, but too short. The steering is a bit too twitchy. So yeah, I like this middle Goldilocks zone basically. Yeah, for me it works nicely. And then yeah, I have a one up tool in here, which I actually like. Yeah, in the stem, very nice addition here. And then going over to my brakes, the Mavens, yeah, silver edition. I like the adjustability of the Mavens. I'm not the best rider, so I need a lot of braking powder. And these, yeah, I just love them. They maybe a bit overkill, but yeah, I rather have it and not use it than need it and don't have it. So yeah, love the brakes. They haven't given me any issues yet. So yeah, I'm very happy with with the Mavens. And then yeah, lastly, as Justin said, suspension setup, it's pretty standard. So according to the fork might, I think I usually take the chart here that's like they stick on it, and I just go from there according to my weight, and then that's the pressure and the air pressure, and then rebound. I think it's maybe slightly towards the faster side now, so less damping on it. And then this is a grip damper, so it doesn't have a lot of adjustability. So compression, low speed compression is open fully, and then the rebound, like I said, it's more towards the far, more open side of the chart. And then with the shock, I took the Fox spec sheet or their manual, set it to my weight for 25 millimeters of sag, and then on that PSI I just took the recommended settings, and because I ride it slightly firmer, I use the least amount of damping for that specific setting, so more towards the open side, because I run the air shaft firmer, I prefer less damping on it to give it to be slightly more active. This bike is already quite active. The suspension is very progressive, so yeah, it's a fine line. Yeah, to get that dialed. For what works for me might not work for everyone. And then 0 volume spaces in the shock, and in the fork I think I have 2 volume spaces. Yeah, I think you can fit like 5 in there more or less. So yeah, we rode Banhoek today. I use quite yes, I think I would say that's fair, the amount of travel I use. So yeah. Oh, and then lastly, I think I missed this, but yeah, with my brakes, the rotors, it's 200 up front and a 180 at the back. So yeah, I think maybe the 200 with the Mavens is a bit too much. Could probably get away with 180s. And then yeah, lastly, so I actually should have mentioned it with the rims, but the tires I run Asahi up front, 2.5, 1.5 bar pressure. We don't know how much that is in PSI. And then on the rear, I have a Minion DHR2. Like I said, it's a mullet. This is 2.4 width and 1.6 bar pressure I run in that. I think it's for my weight. I think it's more or less like what I like. It's not doesn't have too much float, but it's not that hard. Some people might argue that I can even run lower, but then it's just it becomes too much movement. It's just too much movement.
And then quick bonus question. You've been on Santa Cruz for a while, but if you had to get a new bike and you couldn't get a Santa Cruz, what other brand would you go for?
Yo, it's a difficult question. Why I like the Santa Cruz is the horizontal direct mounted shock, I would say, but being like those frames, having it lower in the frame makes the progression slightly more. I'm not a big fan of with a vertical shock. I think it's a good pedaling platform. So, but I don't like the way it rides, like, personally. And also bikes with a very direct mounted shock, the pedaling platform is too squishy. So that's why I like this bike. Pedals well, and it has the active suspension. Feels like that happy medium. But if I've then just going on that with how I like my bike suspension set, or like the kinematic, I would say maybe a Forbidden, very similar looking bike. And then yeah, I like the brand. I like Trek, but like I said, for me it's just the vertical shock I'm not a fan of, and I don't think they have anything to offer with that suspension platform or kinematic platform. So maybe I'll give a Forbidden
There you go.
a go. Yeah.
All right, cool. Thanks.